Welcome to Seeing with Your Soul, the podcast aimed to inspire you to find your voice and become the best, truest, and most authentic version of yourself. Spiritually intimate, soul-to-soul conversations, life-changing insights, and spiritual teaching and healing. Real, raw, unfiltered. Join your host, Tisha Michelle.
Welcome and welcome back to another episode of Seeing with Your Soul with me, Tisha Michelle, your host. Hello. How is everyone doing? If you've ever worked with me individually, you know I love to ask you, how are you feeling, right? One, I genuinely really want to know how you're feeling, but I'm also teaching you to check in with yourself often, where it's to the point you don't have to wait to see if someone asks how you're feeling. You're asking yourself, how am I feeling today? In this present moment, how am I feeling? And then you're honoring that. So how are you doing? How are you guys feeling? Check in with yourself. All right, let's express some gratitude. So in this present moment, I am grateful for my voice. I am grateful for good health. And if you haven't been able to notice, or maybe this is your first time listening to the podcast and you think this is how I actually sound, I don't. I'm sick again. So my gratitude comes from the but the aspect of your voice is very powerful, right? And like the words that you use your gift, when we're operating from a place of helping people to heal, we use our voice. We use our voice to speak our truth, right? And then you get sick, and it's like the past couple of days, I've been trying my best to let my vocal cords rest. Been kind of finding it hard because I always got something to say. So I'm definitely grateful for that. And when I say my overall health, so September 22nd, I tested positive for COVID and shit just hit the fan. And it was awful for me. And I am someone who has a underlying condition because I have an autoimmune. I have lupus, which already when it comes to lupus, your body ends up attacking itself because it's confused. So it's not sure if something is an intruder or if something is good. So yeah, if something comes in to us that's it's a virus, some shit don't need to be there. Our immune system needs to kick in gear and start to fight it off, right? This is when we catch a fever. When we have a fever, it's okay, your body is fighting off some type of infection. But when you have lupus, our immune system doesn't know which is which. It gets fucking confused. And it's because maybe I'm confused. I mean, that's a whole other conversation, but it gets confused. So it doesn't know. So your immune system is also compromised, which means that your immune system is a lot weaker than the next person who doesn't have autoimmune disease. So, I got COVID and it was really, really bad because my body needs to kick into gear and try to fight off this thing that's in here. Right. So it was bad. The first, between 3 and 5 days, it was really, really bad. It was horrible. It's fucking awful. Wouldn't wish that shit on nobody. And everybody's different. Not an expert on COVID. I'm only an expert on how COVID affected me. So then October 4th, I was able to come off of quarantine. It was fine. The only symptoms that I had was no smell, no taste. But I was still tired. I just didn't get that. You could just feel but I didn't have my full energy that I normally would. So things that I normally would do made me feel really tired in a sense. And I still had that fog where I was forgetting things, but that was what I had. And from what I've seen, the people said and all that, those things can linger and last. But far as that other stuff, the body aches and all that was gone. So that was October 4th. Then fast forward to October 11th, I was I'm starting to feel like I'm sick. I'm nah, this shit in my head. Tuesday, full blown, woke up sick, congested, then the runny nose, the sore throat. And I'm oh, hell hell no. So it was all those symptoms and just feeling awful, but not like the body aches, not like kind of had COVID. So I'm like, what the hell is going on with me? And then 2 days later, I lose my voice. So at the time of me recording this, I'm like 8 days in for being sick again after roughly about a week of feeling overall better, but still with those. So one thing also, if you have an autoimmune or you have, something like lupus, you want to stay away from people who are sick because, again, your immune system is compromised. Now, since being diagnosed with that, I never walked around like I was like in a bubble or didn't go anywhere in this sense. Honestly, I don't remember the last time I was sick with something like upper respiratory or a cold or anything before COVID, to be honest. So my personal belief with trusting and understanding my body is that with having COVID, it really shook some shit up within me. And I'm just wide open. I'm just exposed. So within that week, I probably picked up I did get, checked again for COVID. That was negative. The flu was negative. Negative for strep throat, but I picked up something, some bug or somewhere because I'm exposed and I'm open now a lot more than I had been. So I'm like, yeah, I'm about to put my ass in a bubble now because this is stupid. Here I was sick from the 22nd to the 4th, got a little bit of a break, then the 11th until now, and I'm sick again. It's just dumb. So it really made me go back into really thinking and being grateful for my voice, being grateful for the ability to speak and to speak my truth, and really looking at where in my life am I not speaking my truth? Am I not speaking up? Am I silencing myself in other areas? And now it's just coming to the surface, in this aspect and in this overall health, because it's not fun being sick. It is not fun at all. And then you think you get a little bit of relief and then it's like, boom, snatched away. Like again, so I'm definitely counting my blessings and really want to make sure that I don't take my health and take like my voice for granted. So that's where today's gratitude comes from. So I hope you guys can also really look into like your voice, right? Be grateful for your voice and that you have this thing called free will and free speech, and you can speak your truth whenever you want, right? And never let anyone silence you, and you don't silence yourself. But also be very grateful for like your health, and take better care of your health if you feel like you're lacking in an area, right? A lot that goes on when it comes to health, like in like society, you don't mainstream see a lot where we talk about preventative, like what can you do to build your immune system up, right? Like what are some of those things? So maybe kind of really like evaluate some things in your life right now when it comes to your voice and speaking your truth as well as your health. So that's my little, I don't know, forget it. All right. So what are you guys grateful for in this present moment? What are you grateful for? But before we jump into that, let's get ourselves centered and get ourselves grounded. So unless you are driving, I want you to go ahead and close your eyes. Shake out some of that energy. Oh yeah, and by the way, happy full moon. Full moon in Aries. Ooh, let's go. All right, I want you guys to take a nice deep breath, and you're just going to breathe in through your nose. And just release it out your mouth. Take another nice deep breath in. Just breathe in through your nose. And let it out your mouth. All right, one more. Another deep breath, breathing in through your nose. And just let it out your mouth. So now, how are you guys feeling? Are you feeling any different between 9 minutes ago? Are you feeling a little more relaxed? A little more calm? Check in with yourself. Make this a habit throughout the day. Put one hand over your heart and one on your belly, and really just lean in within yourself and say, how am I feeling? How am I feeling right now? Honor that. So, our soul loves to be attached. Now, whether that's to a job, a business, a house, a car, clothes, money, or any other materials, right? It loves to attach ourselves to that. Then there's the attachment to people, like our families, our kids, our our significant others, our friends, our coworkers, maybe, if some of y'all like to get attached to them, I don't know. And that's the attachment I feel like we mastered the most. It's like the one to people. And I've even heard some people say that, or maybe it's even you thinking it, where it's like, one could say that you've lived a very soulful life because you were able to make the attachment to another person. And another could say that they wish they never were attached to anyone, right? Because those damn human emotions can be strong as shit, sometimes unbearable. I remember one time when I went to do some past life regression therapy with my therapist / friend of mine. She's the person that I ended up going to Egypt with when she did her retreat. And we went I wanted to do past life to take me back to like around like 4 or 5 for something that I was working on. And some things came up. And I remember she said to me, she said, "Have you ever had your heart broken before?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Good." And I just looked at her and all the things going through my head was like, what the hell? What you mean good? And she said, "That means that you've loved." I softened up a little bit. And I said, wow. I really thought about it. So there's some people here on this earth who lack the emotions because there's some form of trauma. So they just bury it and they're like, fuck that, I'm not getting close to anyone. As soon as they start to get close to someone, they self-sabotage, right? And they're like, nah, skirt, out of here. Because they don't want to have that closeness. And then you have people you're just super, super like attached to. And it's just like, and then when something happens, it's devastating, right? So just recently I got some pretty unsettling news about someone in my life. And when I got it, like my heart just started hurting. It hurt for that individual person. And then it started hurting for me thinking about my kids and how it's going to affect them. And then it actually started to hurt for myself. Like I started to hurt where this emotion was for me also. So while going through all those emotions and those what ifs, I just started thinking about this attachment to people is really deep, it's strong, powerful, it can be very painful. It could be it just really just depends on what that attachment and what ends up happening. So when my best friend Gloria died, I remember saying, because I am someone who believes in past lives and, coming back here again. So that's my belief. And I remember saying, man, my next lifetime, I don't want any kids. I don't want no boyfriends. I don't want no husband. That's if I come back as a female, right? I don't want no best friend. I'm just trying to be single. I don't want any attachments. I don't want to feel this level of pain again when someone that I'm attached to and that I love and my soul is just soul to soul connection, physically dies. I just want to backpack through the world and just do my own thing. No attachments. And I still think about that now. And she passed in 2017 and I still think about that now. I'm like, I don't want to go through this. Because the thing is that we all know that at some point in our life, ourselves and people that we love and we care about are going to physically leave this earth. That's just a given. We already know that shit. Doesn't lessen the feeling of, air quotes, losing that person, right? Or if something troubling or something we perceive as bad happens to someone, that doesn't mean that they die, but something that we know that's changing their life and they got to go through these things and you have that level of attachment to them, it bothers you. It makes you hurt, like you feel their pain. And that's deep. I had someone send me an email, and one of the things in the email, in her message, she said that she was struggling with, she said every time she's not with her boyfriend, she's sad and she's lonely and her heart hurts and she just wants to be with him all the time. So someone could say like, get a grip. But it was a lot deeper than that, right? She has this abandonment trauma around abandonment. And this person, her boyfriend, makes her feel safe, and she feels safe with him. So when she's not with him, she doesn't feel safe. She feels lonely, and she just misses him so much that like her heart hurts. And he's physically here. He just be at work, could be hanging out with friends. I don't know what he's doing. But that's like how she feels because of that level of that attachment. Now, yes, that goes a lot deeper into working through your traumas. But when you're not in that state or you're not doing that, you just know that it's like, yo, I just got to be around this person. I want to be around this person all the time. And it just drums up so many different like emotions. And especially when someone, physically leaves this earth. So going through that, it was really making me really just like reflect and think about this level of attachment that then produces these strong ass human emotions. So like, who are you attached to? Right? Who are the people that you are attached to? Like throughout my whole life, I've heard so many people say, I can't imagine my life without, and you can fill in the blank. So like, who is it that you can't imagine your life without? That's deep. That's crazy. And not like I'm saying you're crazy. Like when we think about it, you just be like, yo, I can't even imagine my life without this person. And we're already setting ourselves up to be in when something happens to that person. When I say something, meaning we know that that person at some point is going to physically die, whether we go before them or they go before them. We know that that time is going to come, and we can't even imagine our life without it. You see those people who die from like a broken heart, like their spouse that they've been with for 50 something years, like goes, and then a couple of days later they go. Like I really believe like in that because of that level of attachment. So what do we do? And if you're listening to this and now you're ready for this part, like, because now she's going to tell us what to do and like how this is going to help. Surprise. I don't know. This is one of the things that as on my journey that I questioned too. And I said, well, why do we have such this attachment to people that it hurts so bad if something happens? And it's just like, you can't even pick yourself up. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. And it could be on the other way too. Like, I just love this person. Everything is so great. I just always want to be around them, but you can't always be around them. You can't be around a person 24/7, right? I mean, one thing I can say that I think it's really about finding something to hold on to. Also honoring those feelings, especially when it comes to someone that passed away. Right? It's like, what can you hold on to? Some people hold on to the fact that the person is, especially I'm only speaking of someone like died, where they hold on to the fact of, okay, I think they're in a better place. If that works for you, hold on to it, right? Whatever you can do to help you ease through the different phases. And sometimes some people will just think about just like the good times and stuff. Even when you're like in a relationship, right? And you were really attached to that person. And some people would just be like, oh, he cheated or she cheated. Like, you better be fucking done with that person. You better get over it. On to the next. Yeah, you could say that. You're just masking it. But if you had a deep level soul attachment to this person, that shit still hurts. And I think that that's okay. Even if they did something wrong to you or did something, I'm doing air quotes, okay, like y'all can see me. Or did something bad to you or broke your trust and all those things, right? There was still an attachment you had to this person. So I feel like we should honor those feelings and that's okay, right? And that's okay. And what is it that you hold on to? Say, you know what? That was 2 years of my life or 3 years of my life. Everything wasn't bad. I learned a lot of things about myself. We had some great times, and it's not about just trying to hurry up and erase it so you don't feel that anymore, because there was some great things and it's okay. And going back to what I said in the beginning about one would say that you've lived like a soulful life, I can also agree with that. So while I say like, yo, my next lifetime, I don't want no attachment. Fuck that shit. I don't want no kids. I don't want no husband, no wife, because we're going back at no best friends, no nothing. I don't want no type of attachment. I'm just doing my own thing. I'm just out for self. Like, not that like I'm going to hurt anybody along the way, but I'm going to backpack through the world and just enjoy nature and blah, 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 blah. But being attached to someone, nah, no feelings. I'm good off of that. And there's a great part of me that still feels like that. But there's a bigger part of me that sits back and says, how amazing is it that I can have this soul to soul connection with someone, and I can have this level of attachment to someone, and just know that, God, that's that love, right? That's that love. And I think about with Gloria, I was so attached to, that's my homie. We was rocking together from when I was fucking 16. 16. Like, that was my heart. That was my person. And while everything hurts and I'm still like, damn, like, what the hell? This shit's crazy. I wouldn't trade that for anything. I was so attached to her, as that being my person, that when she died, when she physically left this earth, it shook my whole life. Upside down, right side up, backflips and all types of things. That her death escalated. Is it the word escalated? Yeah. Shot me straight forward to get back on track to walking in my purpose. Because I had an attachment to someone that deep and that strong that it pushed me, got me back on track to be my purpose, to be serving others. The shit, having this podcast, having this conversation with you. That's where it stemmed from. That's where it stemmed from. So I wouldn't trade any of that, right? For anything, even though the pain and how it feels. I love that my soul loves to attach and to have that deep connection with people. To know that when someone in my life, like the news that I got, is going through something that's altering their life, that I'm affected by it, that I care that much, that I hurt because you're hurting. So what I just said was, I don't have the answer for everyone, other than the fact of find something to hold on to. And I feel like when you can find something to hold on to, and I can't tell you what that something is for you, you got to find that. You got to dig deeper into that sense, for your own individual self, but find something to hold on to while still honoring those feelings. And again, this doesn't have to just be in the death of someone. It could just be, I had a client of mine that was in this job for a really, really, really long time. And she got laid off. And it was devastating to her. And now if you're one like, I don't care about no 9 to 5 and stuff, when that person is attached to it and there's this idea that they're going to retire and I can't see myself not working here, because there's a lot of people that think and feel like that. I can't see myself not working here and having to start all over. And then that happens. It's devastating because you were attached to that job. You were attached to that. And as much as I say, keep yourself open, practice detachment, surrender, right? Those are all good things to say, right? But it doesn't take away from the fact that you are attached to it. You are attached to that house. You say you had a lot of memories in that house. And now you got to move. Nothing is wrong with that. Honor those feelings. Find something to hold on to. So that way you're able to, surrender to the change, right? Surrender to what that change is. So for those of you that are listening, what's your thoughts on being attached to people and materialistic things and stuff? Like, how are you? Are you someone that's empty and just doesn't allow yourself to get attached to anything or anyone? I think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think that if you landed on this podcast seeing with your soul, that's you. I believe like you guys do attach. You attach to things and you attach to people, and you can understand the pain when that person is hurting or that person is, physically left this earth, and you understand that. So how do you handle, or how do you deal with those strong human emotions that we have when we have an idea of something and then that idea is taken away, which is what I call grief? Like, what do you do? What is that something that you hold on to? Or maybe you haven't thought about it and you just was so mad, and maybe you're thinking that second part of like me. It was like, fuck that shit. I don't want no attachment to nobody and nothing. I don't ever want to feel like this shit again. And I'm pretty sure everybody listening here has said that in their life. I don't ever want to feel like this again. Oh, nah. Nope, 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 and nope. But I do challenge you that even if you think like that now, to kind of really sit with it. Like, would you really want to be, someone who has like no emotions, no empathy, no compassion, no attachment and connection to anyone, and just go through your life like that? And this is no judgment. Everybody has their journey and their process, that they're here for. But would you want to be in that state? Or would you want to have that deep level of attachment and connection and like love for someone, such as I have for Gloria, that if something was to happen, that even in her death, she gave me the greatest gift ever, which was reminding me of my purpose. That's fucking powerful. So on my days where I'm still crying and I'm like, yo, this wouldn't be going on if you was here. Like, we will be doing this. We will be tripping in this pandemic. Like, we will be doing all those things and feeling that, like, what the hell? And then feeling like just like a part of me that's just gone and just missing. I still love that we had that soul tie and that my soul is forever connected to her soul. I love it. Well, thank you all. Until next time. Bye, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to Seeing with Your Soul. If something you heard resonated with you, feel free to rate, review, and share with others. If you are looking to go deeper, you can connect with Tisha Michelle on Instagram at Mindset Slayer or visit www.healingalignedglow.com.